So Carlos, what are the ear verse? Do you remember?
I don't remember yet. I'm on text 5.
Shrotram chakshus sparshanam cha
That's
rasam grahanam evacha adishchaya manaschayan vishayan upasevate.
is it 8?
The Shrotra, the chakshus, ears, this is talking about how the living entity changes his body. Shrotram chakshus. Or it also talks about how he gets a new pair of senses, but it's also talking about how he carries his subtle senses with him. Because you have subtle senses, because you can envision something with your eyes closed, correct? So you have subtle senses. This was mentioned by Yogi Charu's episode on Wisdom of Sages. He mentioned that about the subtle senses. If you remember that Yogi Charu guest, it was great. Because I had that question in the verse. It talked about carrying his different conceptions of life from one body to another. Shariram yadavapnoti yachchapit kamatishvaraha grihitetani samyati vayurgananvashaya. And then it's seemingly saying that, oh, he gets a new senses, but then it says the mind also, and it's like, wait a minute, he carries his mind with him. So I was a little confused, and then with the deeper digging, we found that it was he was carrying his subtle senses as well. So in one sense, the verse is saying you're getting placed into another body, another set of senses, but it also is saying that you're carrying your subtle senses with you. So I think we have everybody here. Welcome. Okay. So this is verse 1 of chapter 7. And does anybody remember what kind of food the Bhagavad Gītā was compared to having like 3 parts to it? Anybody remember? Kylie? Kylie remembers.
The veggie burger.
Veggie burger. And so the real juicy Beyond Burger is in the middle of the Bhagavad Gītā. And so Krishna kind of keeps it supported and protected, or kind of attractively placed in the middle. And so the beginning deals a bit with our karma yoga, our dutiful actions in this world, and the end deals with like jnana yoga, which is kind of that discernment of distinguishing matter from spirit. So therefore you have chapters that deal with the 3 modes of nature and all kinds of cool sciencey stuff. So this middle 6 chapters is now bhakti is going to be pushed towards the front as a very important thing. And as we mentioned before, we mentioned in the previous class, some of this you may wonder, why was this verse given, why did Srila Prabhupada give class so many times on this verse? Why was it given preference? And you may say, okay, it's talking about bhakti, but don't all the verses just explicitly talk about bhakti? And so contextually, this verse is very important because it's actually bringing that topic up in a way that was not so apparent or clear in the previous verses. So we have a nice group here. Just so I'll just say, we have Mother Lakshmani, Hare Krishna, welcome, disciple of Srila Prabhupada, Carlos, Sammy, Rashmi, Dana, or Dana, is it Dana or Dana?
Dana.
Dana, okay, Dana.
Thank you.
And the Dana is, do you know the word Dana in Sanskrit is charity? And you got Edward. And Mithrai. Can you make sure I pronounce your name right?
Maitri.
Maitri. Oh.
Like the Maitreya, but a female version.
Maitreya. Venkatesan. Venkateshwar. Alex, Jeff, Garanganishta. Welcome, welcome. Does anybody remember the example of the plane crash that was given last week? Does anybody remember that? Somebody remember that one? Chapuji is ready.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. So does anybody remember it? Or I'll give a short summarization of it.
I think you were trying to give the example of how communication, when not done clearly, caused the
Yes.
two planes to collide and crash because they couldn't communicate well, and that's why we're trying to make sure that it's clearly communicated as to what Bhakti is.
Correct. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada, he translated Bhagavad Gītā as it is. And even before Bhakti is, the importance of Bhakti is already spoken about in like chapter 2 or 3. In his purports, he makes it very clear. So therefore, it might not be so surprising. It might be surprising why this 7th verse, chapter 7, especially verse 1, is very important, because here Krishna's taking he's really being strong. He's following in from the previous verse. The previous verse is practically the most quoted verse in the 6th chapter. And so in chapter 6, Krishna describes the whole system of Ashtanga Yoga. And then he finishes the chapter. He says, Yoginam apisarvesham matkatenaratmana shadavan vajate yomam same yuktatmamo mataha. It is of my opinion that the best yogi is one who is always fixed upon me, who's matkatendra atmana, who is always like his mind, his heart is always on Krishna, on the Supreme Lord, with devotion. And then here he's continuing on. He says, just Maya Shakta Mana Parta. Mai is unto me. Asakta. Asakta means attachment. Let me grab my book. So what should be our imagery for attachment? Like this? Is that a good one? Maya Sakta Mana and Mana. Chapu, what is mana? Do you know? Do you remember that word? Manaha.
Mind.
The mind, yes. Maya Shakta Mana Partha. Partha is just a name for Arjuna, a very affectionate name, because it signifies their relationship that they have, their family. Him and Krishna are cousins. Maya Sakta Mana Partha Yogam Yunjan Mad Ashaya. So this is under my protection, under my shelter. Ashamshayam Samagram Mam. Samagram means completely. Ashamshayam Samagram Mam. Yata Gyasasi Tat Shrinu. So Shrinu, if you notice, it's spelled with a CH, but this is if you look at the word for word, it's with the Shrinu. We had this question. I can't remember who asked. I think who asked that question about the spelling last week.
Probably Becca, I think.
It's a very good question. So here you see Tat Shrinu. Touch Trinu. You see how it's spelled in a phonetic fashion. It's THC, which is always a ch sound, and that Trinu. Touch Trinu. It's spelled in the way that how it would sound when you put those two words together. And so you have. Does anybody know what is the verse? I think it's the verse they recite in the beginning of the Bhagavatam class, but I think we have it here, isn't it? If you look at the purport, there's a whole long set of Bhagavatam verses that are quoted. I don't know if you have the book in front of you, but Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hidyantashto Yabhadrani Vidonoti Suhitsatam. So Shravanam Shrinvatam Shrinu. And Shrotam. You see this verse I put in the little chat here? We're asking about what is the verse for ears? Shrotram. Do you know any books that have that kind of that sound similarly to that word? And they actually have kind of 3 categories of books in Vedic literature.
Oh, Shastra.
At Shastra, you have the Shruti. Shruti. You have the Smriti. And then you have Nyaya. Nyaya is logic. So Shruti is like the Vedas, that which has been heard, that's this eternal sound vibration that's been passed down. So everyone can kind of remember that the Shrinu is to hear. And so Prabhupada, a lot of times when speaking on the verse, he speaks about the importance of hearing the Bhagavatam. And I like how he says, should we hear from some loafer? He said, no, we should hear from somebody who is connected. Like you have all these outlets in the house as power outlets, but they only work when there is a connection. There's no disconnection. So this is one of the key words there in the verse. Actually, this verse has so many key words. Then you have the asakta. And so we're hearing, and we do it with bhakti, asakta. Prabhupada says in giving class on this, he describes that there are different kinds of asakta, 5 different kinds. Any guess, what are the 5 different kinds of asakti, asakta? Any guess, Chapuji? I'll start with the highest one. Romantic love, parental love, friendship, servitude, and admiration. Like I used to do temple tours when the temple was open, when we had, it wasn't COVID lockdown. We do tours for sometimes hundreds of students. We had one group, it was 200 Muslim teenagers from a club, and we did a whole temple tour, and they all did kirtan, and we had a big, huge feast for everybody. It was a lot of fun. And so one of the questions I asked, I said, if you were to go around and interview people in downtown Dallas with your, you don't have to have a big video camera now, you just have your phone, and you say, what kind of relationship can you have with God in the spiritual world? Are you his romantic partner? Are you his mommy? Are you his best buddy? Are you his servant? Are you his admirer? Oh, from a distance. And most people would say, the latter two. But you find in the bhakti literature that, well, if you look at those things, those are the least intimate. There are definitely relationships. And the servitude, at least he has some kind of interaction. He has some kind of service. There's an exchange that's going on of a relationship. But the other ones they're more intimate. And Prabhupada gives an example of the elements. The element, we're going to go over the elements later on in this chapter. Text 4 deals with the 8 elements. And he gives us analogy of those different asakta, those different relationships relating to the 8 elements. He says, so sky or space is, it's pervasive, it's very great, but it's not you can't really perceive it so much. You can't smell the sky. You can see lights in the sky, but that's not space. You can't see space. You can see things that have light, which is the element of fire. You can't touch, you can feel air, but more subtle than air is space. So when somebody tries to describe something as great, Prabhupada said, it's like as great as space itself, or as great as the sky. But nobody would think, Prabhupada said, you can say, I'm in love with the sky. I love space. You know, I love 3 dimensions. There's not much, there's not tangibility there. So then you go to air, then there's a sense of, you can feel touch with air. And then after air, the next element that is more developed is fire. You can see with light. And then you have water, which provides the ability to have taste. And then you have earth, which provides the ability to have fragrance. And so now with earth, you have taste, you have the element of touch, you have all those other different aspects. So similarly, these different relationships of a Sakti, the romantic relationship has all the other elements. It has the element of friendship, it has the intimacy of parental love, it has many of those other elements in it. So that's one of the points he gave on this verse. Any questions so far in your study of the verse, or in your reading, or reflections you want to share? See anybody?
Hi,
Yes.
I have just a clarification question.
Yes.
The last part of the verse, the yata.
Yes, Sasi?
Yasyasi.
Yeah.
Is it pronounced like jnana yoga?
Yes, it's the same root. That's the word
Yeah.
Gyasasi. You see, it says you can know. So jnana is knowledge, or to know. And I find it kind of funny, because when you first come into spiritual life, you read that word and you say janana. Oh, that's what I say, janana. Like I had a hardcore punk band in 1996, and I had a song called Brahma Janasa, because instead of Brahma Jigyasa. And then so we learn, okay, this J, N, A is like a gya sound. But then it kind of goes full circle, because then you start hearing like real Sanskrit scholars, like devotees who are in like Sanskrit scholars, and they go back to the jana, like the J sound. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I had it wrong. Now they're going like, I think the gya sound is a little bit more of a modern sound, like a way things are more modern, but you're probably safer to say it in a way that's most acceptable. Because I hear, like, if you hear, like, they had the Sanskrit scholar Nityananda Das that was on Wisdom of Sages, or if you hear some of the those devotees who are very adept at Sanskrit, oftentimes they really do the J sound a little stronger, and so it seemed to go full circle, like it went from the JNA to the Gya and then back again. So, but pretty much, yeah, everybody who would chant it would be in that Gyasasi. It's the Jnana. And actually, the word knowledge, even the root of knowledge, is a phonetic derivation of that same root that's in Jnana. Certain sounds become switched when they float into different languages. Like sama, somo, sama, same, becomes the S. When it goes into like the Greek, it becomes homo. So you got homogenized, meaning it's all the same. And sama darshana, equal vision. All right. Any other questions there? So let's give it a try. Let's give it a chant. So Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Or we can. And Prabhupada also, one of his lectures, he just spoke about Bhagavan, and that the Supreme Lord possesses all knowledge, wealth, fame, power, renunciation, beauty, all those things. Maya sakta mana parta. You can repeat after me. You can have it muted or as however you like. Maya sakta mana parta.
Maya sakta mana parta.
Yogam yunjan mad ashrayaha.
Yoga yanjam mad ashraya.
Ashamshayam samam gramam.
Ashamshayam samagraham.
Yata gyasasi tachrino.
Yatagyasi tachrinu.
Okay. Edward, do you remember what the word mana means?
Mind.
Mind, yes. Maya sakta mana parta.
Maya sakta mana parta.
Yogam yunjad mad ashrayaha.
Yoga yanjam mad ashraya.
Ashamshayam samagramam.
Ashamshayam samagraham.
Yata gyasasi tachrinu.
Yatagyasasi tachrinu.
Someone else want to give it a try? Kylie Brown.
Sure. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Maya Shakta Mana Partha
Maya sakta mana parta.
Yogam Yunjan Madashraya
Yogam yunjan madashayaha.
Asamshayam Samakramam
Asamshayam samagramam.
Yatha Yasyasi Tatrinu
Yata gyasasi tachrinu.
Yasasi.
This is a, hold on. Put Chapu back. Chapu, you have like a person you could do a perfect duet with. Kylie Brown, you guys sound like, both of you, your previous many years, decades, and lifetimes chanting these verses. Nice. Carlos G. Give it a shot.
Sure, Prabhu. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri
Bhagavan Uvacha.
Maya Sakta Mana Partha
Maya sakta mana parta.
Yogam Yugnan Majasharaha. I can't say that one.
So that's ashram.
Ashram.
And Yunjan.
Yunjan. Okay.
Yunjan. Yeah, I think Yunjan is related to the word yukta, to engage, to be practically connected, practicing. Yunjan. Yogam Yunjan. Yoga yukta. Yeah.
Okay. So Yoga Yunjam Madashrayaha.
Yogam Yunjan Mad Ashrayaha.
Asamshayam Samagramam.
Ashamshayam Samagramam.
Yatagyasi Tachu. Sorry. Yatagyasi Tachru Nu. I can't say that one.
That's Shrinu. Shrinvatam Shruti. Yata Gyasasi Tachrinu.
Yatagyasi Tachrinu. Thank you, Prabhu.
So Shamshaya means doubt, and Ashamshaya means no doubt. Prabhupada said, if you became friends with Mr. Nixon and he could tell you, how he could tell you all the scandals that are going on. He could tell you how everything is going on. It would be no doubt. You would be very clear how things are going on. So
Amen.
if you become conscious of Krishna, then ashamshayam samagramam. You understand the workings of this world. And that leads into the next verse is related to that as well. Maitreya. Help me again.
Maitreya.
Maitreya.
Yeah.
Maitreya.
Yeah, Maitreya. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Name means friend.
Maitreya. Muni, you want to give it a shot?
Yeah, sure. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha.
I don't get the tone. Like I grew up listening to a different tone. Can you just say that?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, any melody, yeah. Go for it.
Okay. Maya Saktamana Partha.
Maya Saktamana Partha.
Yogam Yunjanmadashayaha.
Yogam Yunjanmad Ashayaha.
Asamshayam Samagramam.
Ashamshayam Samam Gramam.
Yata Nyasyasi Tachrino.
Yata Gyasasi Tachrino. Julie Blandina, you want to give it a shot?
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha.
Maya Sakamana Partha.
Maya Saktamana Partha.
Yogam Yunjan Marashrayaha.
Yogam Yunjan Madashayaha.
Sashayam Samagramam.
Ashamsayam Samagramam.
Yatta Yatsa Sitachinu.
Yata Gyasasi Tachrino. Sammy Long.
Right. Shri Bhagavan, how do you say that?
Uvacha.
Uvacha. Okay.
Yes.
Uvacha.
The C's are always cha.
Uvacha.
Yes.
Mayusatamana Partha.
Maya Saktamana Partha.
Yugam Yunjan Madashriyaha.
Yogam Yunjan Madashrayaha.
Asham Shayam Samagramam.
Ashamshayam Samagramam.
Yuta Keshkishita Shrinu.
Yata Gyasasi Tachrinu. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wonderful. Gauranga Nishta.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Nice name.
Thank you. Sri Bhagavan Mucha. Maya. Sorry. Go for
If you want to, you can just go through it if you want. Yeah.
I'm not that good though.
Okay. How about I'll say it and you repeat?
All right.
You want it? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Maya Asakta Manaparta.
Maya Sakta Manaparta.
Yogam Yunjan Mad Ashrayaha.
Yogam Yungyam Mat Asrariha.
Ashamshayam Samagramam.
Asam Sayam Samagram Mam.
Yata Gyasasi Tachrinu.
Yata Nyashasi Takshirinu.
Very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So should we think of some ways to like visualize, to act them out? So mai unto me, to me. Mai maybe it's like this, is we're being very, because Krishna's speaking very specifically. Prabhupada also, when giving class on this, he talks about that just like the electrical current, when you plug it in, it's connected. And now if the person is not speaking in a way that is dishonest to the message, then they become disconnected. There's no electricity passing through. Actually talks about how being a guru is very simple. You just simply repeat what Krishna's saying. And if you try to, he says, if you try to change it, like Krishna's saying, unto me, Mayi, and then you say, no, me is I, and I is me, and you is I. Well, that's not what Krishna's saying right here. If you have somewhere else where he's saying that, then you could try to say that, but that's not what he's saying there. And he said that person, it becomes a liar or a cheater if they try to put some of their own interpretation that doesn't actually reflect what Krishna is saying. So Krishna is saying Mai. So we can do that. Mai.
Mai.
Asakta.
Asakta.
Just give him a hug. Give him a hug. This is right there. Asakta. Mana. Mana. Partha. Partha, we won't act it out because we don't always act out every single word. We can remember, what does Partha mean? Jeffrey Ackler? It's a name for who?
For Arjuna.
Arjuna. And it's because Arjuna is related to
Pritha.
Yeah. Yogam Yunjan. I don't know if there's really how do we act that one out? Practicing this yoga. Practice. Okay, Yogam Yunjan. Anybody? Practicing this yoga. Kylie Brands is the Yogam Yunjan. That could be it. So Maya Asakta Manaparta Yogam Yunjan. Now, how do we have the shelter? Is it like, how is it shelter? Madashraya. Okay, so you're under the shelter. Madashraya. Ah, yes. Madashraya. Freedom from no doubt, completely no doubts. No doubt. Do we like act out the band, no doubt? Or something?
I don't know how to act it out, but a thought that came to me is it sounds a lot like assumption. So when you assume something, you don't have any doubt about it.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
when you assume something, sometimes you make a mistake.
All right. Asam Sayam Shamagram, complete knowledge. Yeah. Anybody for that one? Any takers? I can only see a few of you on the screen right now. Okay. Asam Sayam. If you have one, because I can't see all of you on the screen at the same time. Asam Sayam Samagram. Maybe we'll have to get back to that one. Yata, Gyasasi, to know, it's very easy. You can do that one. And that's Shrino. Do Shrino, just grab your ear, or Shrino, just listen. Krishna encourages Arjuna to listen. Now he's sitting there, his eyes open, but listening requires consciousness, attention. Just like you could be in a restaurant, hundreds of people speaking, but as soon as you put your attention to one group, you can start hearing what they're saying. And at the end of Bhagavad Gītā, Krishna asks Arjuna, have you heard everything that I've said? Are you digesting? And Prabhupada, again, he talks about this hearing like for example, somebody, if the teacher says, can you bring me a glass of water? And you bring him a pineapple. The pineapples are better than water. It means you haven't heard, you haven't digested. So even memorization it's actually, and it's an expression of actual hearing. Because if you come back and at the end of class you say, I heard the class. Oh, what was it about? Oh, I don't remember. So have we heard it? So this way we're become, okay, Hashem Shem, closed fist on an open palm, crushing doubt. Okay, closed fist on open palm, boom, right, there we go. Sham Shayam. Because, doubts are often described to be, Krishna's described, what is that famous name for Krishna, Mother Lakshmi Moni?
There's a lot of them.
Or doubt destroyer. I think it's I'm not remembering it right now.
But Prabhupada in the purport, he says that doubts are like demons.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, there's names for Krishna. Yeah, is it not Mukunda? It's
Oh.
I can't remember.
Sudan-
Probably quick. Destroyer of doubts. Let's see. Let's look it up on the database. Spirit. Destroyer of doubts. I can't remember. Destroy. If that's the right. I'm getting so many things right now. Bhagavad Gītā. Anyway, destroyer of doubt. Shamshayam. I'm getting the verse. Shamshayam. Doubt. Shamshayam is again. There are so many doubts. Anyway, there is a name of Krishna. He is destroyer of, and there's actually Kaitaba. Maybe it's no, I can't remember. Somewhere in the Bhagavad Gītā. But basically, yeah, there's two demons that stole the Vedas from Lord Brahma. And so Krishna, he defeated those demons. So yeah, let's do the closed fist. Ashamshayam samagram mam. Ashamshayam samagram mam. Yata gachasi tachrinu. So let's do the first part again. Maya sakta manaparta. Well, Yogam Yunjan was again. Who did the Yogam Yunjan?
We just did this.
Yogam Yunjan. Madashrayaha. When you do that, doesn't it help you think of the shelter? Really kind of. We don't want to have some, gibberish and then we have some translation. We want to remember the meanings of these words, and then it really helps. And as hard as this first verse will be, everything will become more easy, because many of these words we'll start seeing ashraya again. We will see mana again and again. We will see words with gyasasi, jnana. We'll see all kinds of words at this root of knowledge again and again. Yata. You'll see that word a lot. Yata and tata. And shrinu, shrinvatam, shruti. We'll start seeing those same roots again and again. So we'll become more, our vocabulary increase, and just practice of it will make it easier. Okay, so how about we go, and there's 15 of us. Let's break up in little groups, and you guys are going to practice amongst each other. Huh? So chant the verse, and also you can ask each other, what do the words mean? How does that sound?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, the name is for killing the demons is Madhusudana.
Madhusudana, yes, Madhusudana. Very good, thank you. All right, so there we go. There's the rooms, and I'll try to jump in. right. So, I don't know. Is Melissa, are you free? Maybe she's not. We're not free. Well, we'll do it together. Where you, Prabhu, where are you from? You habla español? Sí. ¿De dónde eres tú?
Chileno. Pero
Chileno.
ahora estoy en Colombia.
En Colombia. Estoy aprendiendo español. Yo soy de Hawaii, pero mi esposa es de Salvador, salvadoreña.
Genial. Ah, sí. Sí. Yo te escribí el correo hace unas semanas y te decía que hablaba español. Conversamos un poquito.
Oh,
Sí, me
sí.
contaste. Sí.
Nice, nice.
¿Quieres hablar español? Either way works for
Okay,
me.
yeah.
You want to try in Spanish? I don't mind.
Okay.
Both ways.
All right. Nice. You're an artist? You got lots of tattoos?
Yeah, I'm a tattoo artist. I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's see. Maya asakta.
Just give me a second. I'm a bit lost here. Where are we at?
Chapter 7, text 1.
Yeah. Maya Shakta. Mana Parta, right?
Yeah. Maya sakta mana parta.
Maya Shakta Mana Parta.
Yogam yunjan mad ashrayaha.
Yogam Yungyam Mat Asraya.
Asham shayam samagramam.
Asam Sayam Samagramam.
Yata yasasi tachtrinu.
Yada Nyashasi Dakshrinu.
Okay, now you lead the chant.
From the start, right?
Yeah.
Sri Bhagavam Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Maya Satta Manaparta.
Maya sakta mana parta.
Yugam Yum Mat Asrayaha.
Yogam yunjan mad ashrayaha.
Asam Sayam Samagramam.
Asham shayam samagramam.
Yata Nyasya.
Gyasasi. Gyasyasi.
Gyansyasi.
Gya.
Yeah.
Like Gya.
Yeah.
Gyasyasi.
Yasyasi.
Yeah.
Takshrinu.
Touch trinu. Yeah.
Touch.
Touch. Yeah. Touch trinu.
Like I touch.
Touch. Yeah. Yes.
Right? Like touch without the
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
like
Touch.
touch. Shrinu, but like
Shrinu.
SH or CH, like tree. More
Trinu. Like I get. It seems like it's supposed to be like a ch here. Yeah.
like a little bit
Shrinu.
more like sharp, right?
Like churros. Yeah.
Not so soft, if you know what
Yeah.
I mean.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Shrinu.
That's trinu.
Shrinu.
Touch trinu. And I think it's, you just see the word tat and shrinu and just try to say it together.
Okay, touch Shrinu.
Like you see in the word for word.
Yeah,
Tat
yeah.
trinu.
Touch
And I
Shrinu.
think it will come out correct. Just sometimes sometimes it's when you look at it all together, it can be hard, and then you just look at the word for word and you just try to say the words together. And sometimes that's confusing when you go back to the verse and try to say it to get, say it as it looks in the verse.
Like in Spanish, there's a word we say métrica. So métrica is the way the words you flow with them, right?
Yeah.
So you get métrica to, for example, so I can understand when someone is mad at me or happy at me, depending on the way of the words coming. So the same way here, do I have the same sort of flow so I know what I'm saying in the way I'm saying it? You know what I'm asking?
Yeah.
Do I have that sort of, what I'm like? What I'm trying to ask is, should I have, a certain melody when I'm reciting these verses?
If you can, if you can find yourself doing it in the melody, it can help, because it makes it easier, like a song, instead of just, and song lyrics are easier to remember because it just, all those different elements kind of support each other.
Yeah.
Melissa, are you free?
I am. I'm sorry. I have another class at 8, so I was like, and then I couldn't figure out my microphone. So I'm sorry. Yeah, that's one thing I have trouble with is the rhythm.
Yeah, some of that it will well, first of all, learning to sing a foreign language, and just to sing it can be hard, but then to say some other language, it can make it harder. And I've been reading this since '93, and I lived in the temple as a monk at 99, so don't feel but it can be easier over time. Once you get, because every verse in this chapter is going to be the same in the sense of they're all the same metrical. They're all 32 syllables. So whatever melody you do, they're different melodies. They'll apply to all of these verses. So if this one's a little hard, then the next one will be a little easier, and the next one will be a little easier, and the next one will be a little easier, because they're all exactly the same. In the 15th chapter, we did have a switch in the middle. There were verses that were longer that had a different melody, but these are all in the same kind of group of melodies that can be done. And so there are recordings that you can listen to. I think in the first email, there is some recordings. So if you listen to that, then the elements of the melody will become easier to remember, like how it sounds. And then speaking that foreign language in that melody will become easier as well.
So basically, you also imply that we will eventually, it will be easier to remember other shlokas, like as time goes by, because you get used to the words, right?
Yeah, you'll get used to the words, and you'll get used to the melodies. Because if I was in Italy and they say, here, sing the song, and then sing it with this Italian words, I'm like, come on, I can't do that. But really, like with some practice, I could, but it's going to be kind of straining in the beginning. Ramananda, my son's looking at me here because I have my iPad. He wants to play it. You can wait 5 more minutes, Ramananda. Don't worry.
Can I also ask about the word asa, because I think I've been mispronouncing it. Asamasaya.
So the line, the S with the line above, or if you have like if you look at, if there's any no, I think that's the only one there. The S with the line above, or if you have an S with a dot underneath, like in Krishna, they're both this. They're both like a sh sound. One of them is slightly different, but not so much. But asam, and the dot with the M is kind of a asam shayam. Asam shayam.
So it's more of a sh sound
Okay.
than it's like a hard S.
Yeah.
Asham shayam.
Yeah. So I'm like the word maya asakta, that's just the regular SS. But then when it has a dot, the line above it, it's a shayam. Shayam.
It's a, all right.
I have a question regarding this tone, because I have heard some people from certain areas of India that when they pronounce the Maha Mantra, they say Hare Krishna, and they said Ramo, very strong. The O sounds like almost like Ramo, right?
Yeah.
But it's Rama, right? So,
Yeah.
so regarding those kind of little details, I mean, I'm going really far, right? But still, like, how do I know when I'm doing right pronunciation from these?
I think with the Sanskrit, it's you know, you just like when we have, sometimes you might have seen like the Bengali songs that we have.
Yeah.
And those, it's a little hard because there are those kind of pronunciation differences, but the Sanskrit is, you just try to just do it as straightforward as possible. If you do it, if it says Rama, you say Rama, you know, Rama, you know. The Bengalis do a very much of a O sound. Like they say, if you want to speak Bengali, you just put a tasty rasagula in your mouth and you speak Bengali. And it's just like everything's got a O ending to it.
It happened to me that they once, there was these devotees from Bengal, they were talking and they called me Gourango.
Gourango, that's classical.
Very.
Yeah, that's a classical Bengali. But then there are times where Prabhupada would say, like, you say you have some American devotee and then he's saying Ramo. He's like, wait a minute. They're saying it because that's how the language is. It has a, you know, very, but don't copy. Just say it Rama. Just, you know, if it's like, say somebody, some of the Japanese languages, Chinese languages may have a little difficult pronunciation of like R's and L's and some. Now, with Sanskrit, I shouldn't try to copy. If I met a Japanese devotee and I learned from him, I shouldn't try to copy their style of chanting. I should just try to read it. It's because it's mostly straightforward. It's not, it doesn't have all the, yeah. So yeah, Rama,
just with the A, right?
yeah. So do you guys think both of you could read it off to each other, and I'm gonna check out some of these other rooms?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi.
Do you want me to be on book, or do you want me to try again? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. I'm trying to do it from memory. Okay. My Shakta Manapartha. My Shakta Manapartha. Yogam Yunjan Madashrayaha. Asamshayam samakramam yatha yasyasi tatrinu.
Very good. You did the whole thing from memory?
Yeah.
All right. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. All right.
Ryan.
Good. Maya, don't forget this one.
Oh, Maya.
Asakta, yeah.
Asakta mai.
Exactly, yes, attached.
Asakta mai. Yeah.
Yes. With mine attached to mom.
Yeah, thank you.
Ramananda, you want to come say hi? Or so I'm just checking in the different rooms, seeing how's everybody doing.
Hi.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, he's troubling that he wants to play on the iPad. Just- Any questions so far? Oh, he wants to show his shirt. Oh, let's show his shirt. Show your shirt. He wants to show his shirt.
Oh, show me.
You got to get close so they can see it.
Oh, Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai. That's a great shirt.
And he's got his finger like that.
Oh, I love that.
My wife got me this shirt.
Jai.
Yay.
Anniversary.
Say just ki Jai.
And so any questions? Anything?
But Sammy, did you want to ask him that question about Maya Sakta? The connecting the Y to the A?
Yeah, I don't know the question anymore.
Oh, okay.
Maya Sakta is, so that's correct way to pronounce it?
Yes,
sort of
yes.
like the
So-
Y at the
Yeah.
end of the Mai kind of connects to the.
Yeah, a lot of times the easiest way to figure out some of the verses. So if you're looking at the verses and you can't figure out, it ends in a consonant and then start like how to say this, is just look at the word for word and just say those two words together.
Okay.
Just like touch trinu at the end. Okay, what is this? CHRNU and the TAC. They would just look at touch trinu. It comes out basically the same if you just say the word for word together.
Trinu. Okay.
Yeah, touch and shrinu is the sh sound.
Cool.
Touch comes like the one devotee in the previous group. He said it's like touch.
I was thinking like Tut, like King Tut.
Yeah. But when you get the tut and the shrinu, it becomes touch. Touch shrinu.
Gotcha.
Touch
Trinu.
Yeah.
Can I have a random question?
Oh, go for it.
So in the first class, you said there were so many recordings of Srila Prabhupada doing this.
Oh yeah.
Where can I find those recordings?
Yeah, it's I think it's Prabhupada Vani. Let me see. PrabhupadaVani.org, I think is. I listened to 11 of them already.
Oh wow, because I was checking on YouTube and I couldn't find it.
Vani.org. I think that's it.
Can you put that in the chat? Because I can't
Yes.
spell it.
Yeah, here, audio, and I'll just put Bhagavad Gītā lectures. Here I found, and then chapter 7. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there's 86 classes on chapter 7.
Wow.
Is it in the chat? Where is it? How come mine doesn't work?
I'll put it 1 second. I just copied the link right now.
Oh, okay.
Boom. There we go.
Oh, cool. I'm going to screenshot it. That's my best way to go here. Or maybe I'll click
And
it.
I can also include it like in the next email.
Oh, that'd be great.
So I think maybe we'll close all the rooms. We come back together.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's see.
Great working with you, Sammy. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
well-
It was so helpful. I really
Oh, no problem.
appreciate it.
So yeah, let's just check out so we have everybody. Everybody's here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there were just 2 of us in our group.
yeah, I've got to sign off. Sorry.
Anybody have any questions before we head out? So as we were mentioning earlier that, yeah, if you're looking at the verse and you're saying, okay, how is this pronounced? There's like 2 consonants and then the next one starts with a vowel, or you just look at the word for word and then say those 2 words together. Like tat and shrinu becomes tat shrinu.
Mhm.
Or mai asakta, mai sakta. Maya Sakta.
Mhm.
So yeah, sometimes looking at the verse, it can be confusing. So then look at the word for word. Sometimes looking at the word for word and trying to put it together becomes confusing. So then you go back to look at the verse itself. But basically, yeah, there shouldn't be it's not a real difference between the word for word and the verse. It's just how it sounds together is how it's written in Sanskrit. All right. So any last questions before we head out? I think we're just about an hour here. Or any reflections? Anything you want to say?
I have actually one.
Yes.
There's anyone doing like week meetings, like, because I'm really bad at this. I'm really bad.
Yeah, I don't know if Chapuji is still here, but I know she. Oh yeah, she is. Chapu, are you free? Huh?
Yeah, yesterday we did a session with Evan, and I just want to say that everyone now has verse 1 completely memorized. I mean, I was studying with Julie, and she already knows the translation by memory, the Sanskrit by memory. She studied in Spanish, and I was remembering our first days with chapter 15 when we didn't know how to pronounce Uvacha, and now everyone has verse 1, and I'm really excited to work with this group. Yeah, we can schedule a meeting this week, and I don't know your time zone. We had to do it yesterday because Evan is in England, I think. But yeah, we can do it. If you want, you can text me.
Yeah, anytime it works for me. Right now I'm in Colombia. My wife is from here, and I'll be moving to Chile in like a month. That means that I'll have 2 hours.
You have an hour
ahead, or
an hour.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but I'll be 2 hours different. Like, I'll be closer to Europe time zone, if that makes sense. In like a month.
Well, you have a bunch of sadhus here waiting also because everyone has verse 1, and of course you want to reach out. I'm here for everyone who wants to.
Chapuji, did they contact you through Discord for scheduling?
Yeah, no problem.
Aww.
Okay, so maybe yeah, we can you could, if you want to put a time, and then others can join in, and then we can, I might be available different times as well for more practice. Or
yeah, I mean, I don't actually know my time zone because I'm in Ecuador. I think it's like PT or something. But yeah, we can set a meeting for this week, and we can put it on Discord, and if anyone wants to join, you're welcome. And probably you are going to teach me because I'm still in shock. I mean, again, but I'm here for you. If I can help in any way, I'm here for you.
any other last comments, reflections, anything? Jeffrey Ackler, anybody?
Just thank you very much, Prabhu.
Oh, thank you.
For setting this up.
No, thank you. So yeah, we can keep our mind always attached to Krishna. And then Shamshayam Samagram Mam. All those, everything becomes cleared. Everything becomes clear, and have a clear vision. So Prabhupada said, how do we see Krishna first? This or this? The ears, yeah. Ears are most powerful sense. When you're asleep, what wakes you up most effectively is the ears, not the eyes, not the nose, not the sense of taste. It's the ears. Even when a person's leaving their body, when the time of death, when everything is shutting down, this is the last thing generally to even have any effect, to be working at all. So, all right. Well, thank you all. Om Tat Sat.
See you next week. Om Tat Sat. Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Om Tat Sat.
Thank you.
Thank you.